Hi, I'm Mallika Chopra, and I have a new book, Living with Intent, My Somewhat Messy Journey to Purpose, Peace, and Joy, coming out. And I'm really excited to talk to my friend, Jason Wachob, the founder of MindBodyGreen. You and I have launched companies in parallel, Intent and MindBodyGreen, and I'm so thrilled to see how it's grown. I know you guys have a new mastery course as well, so I encourage people to go to their site and learn about that. But Jason, let's talk a little bit. What does living with intent mean, and what does it mean for you in your journey?
Sure. Well, to start, I think you've nailed it with purpose, peace, and joy is pretty darn good. What I would say is meaning, purpose, and significance. And for me, that is finding something that's greater than yourself, finding something that you're passionate about, something that goes beyond material success in the way we look at it. For me personally, after college, I didn't grow up with money, and all I wanted to do was make money and pay off a lot of my college debt. And so I worked on Wall Street and was able to do that fairly quickly and did well enough where for the first time in my life I had a little money, I had freedom. And I found after 9/11 that I wasn't really quite happy, and that I was searching for a life of intent and was missing that meaning, purpose, and significance, and went on this journey to find it as an entrepreneur. And in that process, became very, someone who looked good, who was healthy. I had a lot of health problems, particularly my lower back. I had 2 extruded discs pressing on my sciatic nerve. I could barely walk, excruciating pain. Every doctor said you needed back surgery. One guy, as an afterthought, he said, yoga might help. So I started to practice yoga. I started to look at the mind, things like stress, sleep, how they affect your health, food, nutrition, the environment, how they all affected your health, and made a lot of changes in my life, and yoga was a big part of that, and I completely healed. And I was like, holy cow, this is it. This is the solution to health. And I really felt at that moment that this was my higher purpose in life. This was my, MindBodyGreen to me was living with intent, and ever since then I've been on this incredible path. And so to me, it's very hard not to live with intent.
In India, we have the concept of dharma and your purpose in life, and when you can align what you're doing professionally with that purpose, it becomes so fulfilling and inspiring both to yourself and others. So congratulations.
Thank you. I don't think you can do it. For me, it's so hard to not do it that way. There was a great interview I remember watching with the filmmaker Quentin Tarantino and Charlie Rose. And Charlie asked him more or less, like, what would you do if you couldn't make films? And he basically said, this is all I can do. Like, I'm not good at faking it. Like, I can't feign interest. I can't fake it. And I think, for me in particular, and I think a lot of people, it's hard to do something you're not passionate about, and I think it's just so important.
So in any journey, living with intent or otherwise, there are obstacles, and there are challenges, and I'm sure you as an entrepreneur and I as an entrepreneur, we face many challenges. So whether it's professional or personal, how have you dealt with the obstacles, the stresses, the challenges? And is it kind of your purpose which keeps you going, or do you have other practical things you do as well?
Yeah, I have a lot of answers for this one. One is, I think the hardest step is the first step, especially if if you're successful at all. It is so hard to walk away from something that is paying the bills, is affording you a certain lifestyle, and it just has to be some level of comfort. Throwing that all away, so to speak, and going all in on something else. And that's definitely very scary, and it can be paralyzing, and it is not for everyone because things don't work out. For me, it was almost a 10-year journey. I left Wall Street in 2004, and MindBodyGreen didn't really become quote-unquote successful until 2013. Almost 9 years, long time. Very understanding wife along the way as I got married. And so the second part of that equation, I think you have to have passion. And so, you know, a lot of my greatest learnings have been from businesses that have failed. And I think oftentimes, you know, in order to launch a business and be successful, or launch or just any path you're on, to really be successful, you have to put in the work and the time. And there will be moments when you want to give up. There will be moments when, you know, that door you're trying to knock down does not open. And it's at those times you really have to push through. And I think that only happens when you're really passionate about something. There'll be many moments you want to give up. And also to that point, you know, bring up this concept of banging down doors. I think it's also this blend of letting go. And it's this push and pull. And so one of my favorite lines as an entrepreneur, which I think is counterintuitive to a lot of people, but it's also sort of a good way to live life, is the saying of, I don't know when, I don't know how, but I know it's going to happen. Yeah. And we've had, you know, like I joke with my wife, who's sort of gotten used to it. You know, I say, I'm pretty good with predicting, but not so good on the timing part. Yeah. I just say, I know it's going to work. Yeah. I don't know when, though. And I think that's really important in terms of business and life.
You know, that's a great answer. And part of my whole thing with living with intent, and why I say it's a messy journey.
Yes, it is very messy.
It's messy because we don't, it's finding that purpose, and for me, it's that changes over time.
Yes.
And you know, when I was in my 20s, it was very different than when I was in my 30s and became a mom, to when I hit 40. And so, you know, I feel like you kind of are constantly going back and forth and figuring out the journey as you go along.
Yeah, there's a great graphic I love. It's something along the lines of, this is what people think success looks like, and it's a straight line, and then it's right next to it is, this is what it really looks like, and it's like filled with squiggles and turns, and I think that's just so true. And I think it does change with age.